Alright, I think it should be going now. I'm gonna sound freaking muffled and gross today, because I'm gonna hear so much sniffling today. It's not even like I don't even have necessarily, like, a runny nose. I'm just, like, congested. But it's not like... I don't know how to describe it. Hi, Mr. Top 10 List! Yeah, it's because I'm being a brat and I don't fucking share my link fucking anywhere. I sound horrible today because my allergies are acting up. Because the weather where I live can't make up its mind. So, I am congested AF. Oh, whoa, why is that so big? Don't want that. So, today's stream is pretty much going to be a lot of sniffling. And I'm going to just sound... I'm going to sound fucking horrible. I wish I would stop being congested. It started, it started getting really messed up, like... No, seriously though, we... So, last week, my work actually shut down because we had such a bad snowstorm. So, this is how fucked our weather is where I currently live. Hence my allergies being dog shit. Come on, computer, why are you being like this? Oh my god, stop. Why are you being so laggy today? You should not be lagging so badly. Literally. Anyway, what I was trying to say is, we got a snowstorm so bad last week, my work actually shut down, which is a big thing, because my work, like, never shuts down. And then we got 2 feet of snow. There was so much snow on the ground, I could plop Joey into the snow and he would have been covered. Hi, Bringer! So we had so much snow, like, we had to, like, when Spud went to work last week, she had to have our dad push our car to get it out of the driveway. Also, I do apologize, you might hear the creaking today. I don't know what I did with my other mic, so I am using my headset mic, which creaks because of the words are hard. The earpiece on the side the mic is on, for whatever reason, it creaks whenever I, like, open my mouth or turn my head a certain way, and I don't know why this specific side creaks so badly. The other side doesn't creak. It's only the side with the mic, which is hilarious because it's like that's the side I would prefer to have no creaking on, but what can we do? And I don't know what I did with my other mic. But we went from having last Saturday, like, not this past Saturday, but, like, the week prior, we had 2 feet of snow. Like, we had a severe snowstorm, like, things were shut down, and it was a constant, like, lot of snow. Almost all of the snow is completely melted currently. So we've went from getting so much snow that was able to stick on the ground, and it was that much snow, and then it all melted. That's how much our weather can't make up its mind. So, for those like me that suffer from seasonal allergies, it causes the plants to freak the fuck out because they're going from extreme cold to extreme warm, and they're like, release the pollen. But at the same time, it also kicks up, like, all of the salt and dust that's been in the roads during winter. So everything just gets thrown everywhere. And so you get people like me. You get people like me whose allergies are just like, hey, sit the fuck down. Spud is also dealing with allergies, but hers don't present in congestion like mine do. She has, like, headaches and stuff, which I also have, but mine's more congestion. And unfortunately for me, I took allergy meds yesterday, but they're 24-hour allergy meds. so they helped a little bit. And then I got congested again. And the other fun is my nose can't make up its mind of which side it wants to be blocked up on. So I'm like stuck half mouth breathing, and it really sucks because I'm constantly dehydrated, and you can't if you're blocked up, you can't have a sip and breathe at the same time if you're congested because I have to breathe. No, I know it is. We were talking about it at work. I know that storm's coming and I'm not impressed. I don't want it. You can have it again. You're further south than me. You can have it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it at all. All I want is my blorbos. Can I tell you? So, I've been on hiatus from my comic. Not my comic. Well, I mean, I don't really have a set schedule for my comic. I just kind of post whenever I finish that. But I was on hiatus from my fan fiction for a while. And the fact that I started posting and I not only got one comment being like, "Hey guys, they're back," and being all excited, I got 2 comments that were like, "Oh my god, you're back." And one of them wasn't even in English. And there's I don't know how to explain. There's something so delightful to me about the fact that there's someone out there who speaks another language and chooses to still read my fic, which isn't in the same language, and take the time to comment on it still. And it's not a short fic either, so like that's some dedication. And just like there's something about the fact that they're reading this. And it made me smile a lot that they were just like, "Oh my god, you're back. I've been waiting. I am excited. I cannot wait to see Leviathan Eclipse." Oh, at least that's what Google Translate told me their comment said. I myself do not speak Spanish. So I'm kind of I have to spitball slightly on figuring out what things say. Um I can I can read French. Um I can read French without issue, but I don't know Spanish. I learned French in high school, and I still know some of it. I've always been better at reading it than I am at speaking it, though. But I can barely speak English. What do you want from me? Um, I hate how much this creaks. I might have to try to find where my other mic is. And I know it creaks badly because I can hear it in VODs. And it drives me nuts when I'm dealing with my VODs and I can just hear the creaking. Which sucks because it's a nice headset. It's just obnoxious. There's this fucking snot. I hate allergies. Fuck. Fuck me. I am so sorry. That has to sound. It has to sound absolutely horrible hearing me sneezing and covered in snot. Yeah, a little bit, but not really. I'm still super. I'm still super like filled with snot. I can somewhat breathe a little bit better now, but it won't last. It won't last. Uh, yeah, it has to sound absolutely horrendous on your guys' end, though. I'm looking to see if I can't find a headset that's a little smaller. It's so I gotta look it up. I used to have. I don't even know if this company makes headsets anymore. I have not seen them in a while, so but it could just be a case so you don't see them as much. But I used to have this Turtle Beach headset that was pretty nice. Okay, Turtle Beach is still a thing. But I used to have this nice Turtle Beach headset and it didn't have over encompassing headphones and it had a nice little mic. And I think potentially that could be better for creaking purposes. I know really the best course of action is to just use my actual microphone. But I only have so many USB ports, even with a USB splitter. I'm running on a laptop. Um, ugh, I'm so freaking. It fucking hurt. I think the worst part is when you sneeze and it hurts. Like, that is probably one of my least favorite things. Ugh, my ears are now. I'm gonna be bitching about how I feel like absolute garbage, like, all night, and I know it. I, like, have debated it. That's, like, it's one of the other reasons, like, my past couple streams, I've just not even bothered trying to get a mic at all. Because it's just like, I just sound like death. It's... Moo says, Mother, I desire to watch with. What a little goblin. Joey earlier was, Joey was screaming at Spud's, like, door for, like, over an hour until she finally just opened my bedroom door and was just like, Scream at your mother! Oh, this doesn't have the color I've been using. Shit, where's my iPad? I want that color hex code. I need the hex code. I've been mostly doing all my art on my iPad lately, so my PC does not have all of my saved colors. What is your hex code? Because I would like you. Alright, what is your hex? DF9870. There we go. It's like a nice orangey color. I've been using it for some shading and stuff lately, and I've been enjoying how it turns out. But I thought it would make a nice bandage color, because Hattie's got band-aids on her knees, because she's a child who plays outside all the time. She's a chitlin who plays outside, and she gets all forms of scuffed up while she's out there. My ears are all... Ugh. Yeah, see, for me, I don't bite my tongue or anything, but I'll, like, cough or sneeze really hard, and it just makes my entire throat and mouth ache. Ocean humor. I'm in a server, and someone sent a meme, and it's a meme of the evolution path from land dweller to whale. I enjoy that. I used to be obsessed with the concept of whales walking on land. As funny as this. So, when I first heard, I should open a here's my warm-up page. When I first learned that apparently whales used to walk on land, I I used to, like, this is before I really knew, like, how evolution worked and everything like that. So I used to have this misconception that whales, when they walked on land, I pictured just like your standard whale, and then you got down to where the tail fluke was. And I used to think that it just turned into a pair of legs at the tail fluke. this, this, this is what I used to think. Whenever I would think about whales walking on land. This is what I would picture in my head. And for the longest time, I was like, that's weird. I feel like that weight would be really impossible to deal with upright on land. And then, and then I learned what they actually looked like. But for the longest time, this was what I thought when I heard people say whales walked on land. I used to picture this. And it's funny because I've always liked biology and science and stuff like this too. So it would have been very easy for me to probably go to a library and find this shit out. But do you want to know what's embarrassing? I didn't learn what whales' ancestors look like until I was in college. So I didn't learn to my early 20s that this was not what whales looked like when they walked on land. And I think it's funny too. I know there's varieties of whale types too. But I specifically think of a humpback whale for this, or like a blue whale. Which only makes it worse because they're so big. Anyway, hi, I'm Bun, and I can be a little bit stupid at times. So, that's your fun Bun fact of the day, is I'm a little bit of an idiot. And I don't have an excuse for why I thought that either. It's just a thing I used to think about. And yet, here I am, with stupid amounts of fish facts in my head. I think the worst part too is when you're like congested, or like you have like a snotty face or something like that. And do you guys think Eclipse's iPad would be rose gold? I think her iPad should be rose gold. It's just one of those things you don't necessarily think about. And then you get like coffee and stuff, and it's just like, why? Because it's just all the fluid from your fucking nose. Just my body going, hey, what if we just freak the fuck out? And I'm like, do we have to? And my body's just like, yeah, it is. And it's just like, yeah. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. But no, can't do that. Have to be stupid. Anyway, that's my dumb tangent for now. We'll get more tangents later, as always. CC Hattie. Where the fuck is Eclipse's skin? God, she's so fucking pale. Is this the right color? Where's my iPad? That doesn't look right. I literally just colored this woman. Open. This should be her skin tone. The downside of switching between devices is sometimes my colors look way different. Alright. This is Eclipse's skin tone. No, that is wrong. Why is that wrong? Is this her correct one? D9BBBB. Oh, yeah, that should be her correct skin tone. Okay, why was her skin tone completely off? And I dropped my iPad. Ooh. I am batting 100 right now. It's like I know her scars are on a separate layer. Minus her facial scars, but her facial scars are special. By the way, I went with the sleepy shrimp today because I feel like Garbo. So I figured sleepy shrimp was appropriate. Why are you lagging so much today, computer? I don't like that. I don't like you lagging. It makes me upsetty. Dun, dun, dun. Also, hi, random day. I am actually, in fact, listening to the same music as the rest of you. I was too tired to try to find my other headset and my mic. Well, ow! Fuck. That frick. Yeah, it looks like they're talking in their sleep. If I was smart, I would have made them actually, like, blink. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I was gonna listen to my playlist that I've been listening to on loop, but that would involve setting up my other headphones and finding my other mic. And I was just like, I'll just play my video game music. I like listening to that. I think one of the funniest scars Eclipse has is the fact she has a fucking bite mark on her underarm. There's something ironic about the werewolf woman having a bite mark on her arm. What color do you guys think her hair tie should be? Should I make her hair tie her eye color, or should I make it like Snatcher's eye? Should I make it Rue's eye color, or should I do purple or something? Haiku! Good luck on comms! I don't know if you want to listen to me in the background. I am currently sick with allergies right now, so I sound absolutely... I am coughing and hacking and sniffling, so you missed me sneezing. Light purple or dark purple? Who get all the commissions? Who make that bank? Pay for more Chipotle. Coupote. Yeah. Bun spring allergy, suffering gain, dying, ASMR. Oh, that one actually hurt to fucking do. Yeah. Dark purple. Okay. Yeah, no, the weather fucking sucks, and I'm dying, and I can't take more allergy meds for another, like, 2 hours, because they're 24-hour meds, so I have to wait until about the time I took them yesterday, which was, like, 9 at night. And thus, my suffering consists. I'm like a filter feeder. But I hope you have a fun time with all your commissions. I hope you got some good stuff. I got some commissions I gotta work on too, but I am waiting on feedback from several of them. And I have one open right now too that I'm gonna work on, but I wanted to finish this first. I gotta remember to put his freckles on. I forgot his freckles in the past couple pictures, but I did draw him as a Leviathan, so it's easier to forget his freckles in that form. No, actually, I think I put his freckles on his last... I think I put his freckles in the last one. I think I actually did put his freckles. Rabbit, did you have freckles in your... Yeah, I remembered his freckles. I didn't remember his freckles in the first cover I posted recently, but I did remember them in the last one I posted. I'm always forgetting to fucking put his freckles back on. Fucking big-nosed motherfucker. Oh, I forgot to color Eclipse's tooth. You little fang. Hey. Get. Alright. Mr. Man, what color was your hair in this chapter? Alright, just orange. Actually, was your hair colored? Wait, did I shade? Did you straight up not have black on your hair in that chapter? Huh. You did not. Wild. Wilden. Wilden. I struggled so hard to get his pose right last night. Me streaming at fucking... I streamed at like midnight 30 last night. You get to draw a dolphin! Yeah! Sexy fish! Q gets to draw the sex mammal. Dolphins are wild. I'm thinking about the dolphin Pokemon from the latest games now. Just the fact that it's just a dolphin, and then it's a superhero dolphin. And it's so... I remember when my sister was showing me it, and I was like, it was at its Evo, and it just, like, barely changes. And I thought it was the funniest thing. I want to say that's where his birthmark is. I don't draw his birthmark often. Ro! Where the fuck is your shit? Lost Prince. contractor covers. Where is the chapter you got shit-faced? Where are you being piss drunk? There it is. Okay, it is just on your underarm. That's what I thought. Technically it's not there, so you do not get to see his stupid little crown birthmark on this one. No, it's fine. Then I remembered you had, I believe it was color burn, and I think I used this to do it. You have iridescent. Oh no, color burn was not the color I used. Oh, really? Maybe. Fun fact, I actually haven't beaten Scarvite yet. I keep meaning to, and then I just haven't played Scarviolet to finish. I keep meaning to, and then I don't. Oh, I don't have that brush I like on here. I need to install it on my PC. Hey, CSP, could you please? Why are you lagging so badly? Here I am thinking that my PC should function better. Hey, mouse. Here I am thinking my PC is gonna be like, yeah, this will be good, this will be fine. And then it decides it just wants to be an absolute dumpster. Alright, I have an idea. Let me go away, go away, go away, go away. Hey, quit. Quit. Discord, you have to, I'm gonna see if I close out of some stuff that'll. Oh, there's a purple set. But you're the big kind I don't really want. No. Alright, we're gonna see if we can do that. Is that gonna help? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, CSP, you are being an absolute dumpster fire. Dun 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 dun. Alright. Manage materials. Let's see. I wish it was easier to swap between your materials on two different devices if you're using two different devices. Where the fuck is it? I downloaded this really cool scale brush not long ago for I downloaded a really cool scale brush. I think Aster sent it to me. And it is really nice as like a highlight texture thing for when I'm doing their scales, but Open the asset store. Where are you? The assets. Where are the assets? Ugh. Menu. Search for materials. Give it. Give it to me. I think you're called. Yeah, it's a Japanese brush, though. It is a Japanese brush. Like, I wish that, like, if you had, if you download an asset on your, like, on one thing, I wish that it would make it so that if you went into manage materials on another device, that you have the same account logged in, you could just get the material there and download it from the app. But if I want to download the material again, I have to manually go in to find it in my, like, thing, and then I have to re-download it a second time. And it's like, come on, let me just, can I has? Alright, well, that should be downloaded now. Oops, no, that's not what I want. No, stop it. Stop it. This one. Add. But it adds such, like, a nice little, like, it's a subtle texture. But I think that adds a nice, it's nice considering his, because he's got scales. He's a fish man. The man is a fish. Kinda. I mean, yeah, he's a fish. Kinda. Probably still tastes like a human though, with like a faint sea taste. Like if he soaked a beefsteak in the ocean or something. I don't know, I've never actually thought about what that has to be like. Clip, please don't fucking freeze on me. I cannot handle you freezing on me. Where is his tail? That's her tail. Where is his tail? Oh, it's colored dodge, not colored burn. That's what I used. Colored dodge. There we go. I was like, I got his tail to have this really nice, like, iridescent shimmer to it last time I had colored his tail iridescently. I was like, come on. Like, he had these really nice iridescent scales. Look how nice his tail looks now. Fuck yeah. Anyway, Fishman. A very happy Fishman. Hippie. Alright, I don't need that file open anymore because I have the cats. He still gets to have a yellow membrane in his mouth though, because it's my rules. And my rules say he has to have that because it's aesthetic. Oh, he should be blushy because he's having a good time. Having a good time, superstar waiting for the mirror. Yeah, let's make this man blushy. Get him all blushed up. I'll even put a little bit of tit shading on him. Not that you can really see his tits, but I'll put a little bit of tit shade. It's what he deserves. Hey, come on, computer. I know, my computer doesn't want me to give him in his rendered tit shades. My computer. It's anti-boob. Anti-moob. Anti-pectorals. Every time I say boob or pectoral, I always think of the movie Paranorman. Um, I can't remember the character's name off the top of my head, but he's Norman's best friend essentially, and there's a scene where the bully is bullying him and he makes a comment about his boobs and the kid like hits uh hits his chest. He's like, these aren't boobs, they're pectorals. And the bully punches him in the chest and he's like, ow, my boob. And every time I say the word like moob or pectoral, I always think of that scene specifically. And in my brain, I just go, these are pectorals. It's a fucking titty. It's a fucking titty. The titty bear. Does anyone remember the titty bear? It was an as seen on TV product. It basically just like went under your boobs. Like it helps. It was supposed to help like when you're driving and like your seatbelt. Like if you have big boobs, seatbelts are prone to like cutting into you. And you have to like constantly adjust them. And the titty bear was supposed to be like the solution to the boob belt problem. Um, but the fact that it was referred to as the titty bear is still so fucking funny to me. Like, choices were made. I'm trying to decide if I want Eclipse's bathroom to be pink or not. Yes, I think technically in TLC it's not, but have I colored the bathroom in any cover? I hear a spoodle. I should send Spoodle love. Send her a little emoji. I know she's also not feeling that great today, too. I was gonna say, I fucking love Tumblr's April Fool's joke this year. I love booping. I have been booping my friends back and forth. I have this one friend, Seven, who I have been booping nonstop, but he has also been equally booping me. So, alright. I know there was this cover, but you don't really see the bathroom in that one. You just see Eclipse in the mirror. Kitchen has been in it several times. Cookie's kitchen, that's the hallway. Kitchen, kitchen, kitchen. No, I don't think I've ever colored their bathroom in a cover. Technically speaking, in The Sun in the Sea, which is the reread I'm doing for this, they have two bathrooms. You have Eclipse's bathroom, which is the nice bathroom that she does not let the child in because the child is a menace on society. And then she has the main bathroom, which is the one they normally use. But in TLC, they only have the one bathroom. And in Sun in the Sea, Eclipse's bathroom is pink. It's got pink tiles and everything. But I don't think I've ever decided what colors to actually make her bathroom in TLC. So do we go with the playlist? Oh, I forgot Cece's paw! Her pawsy is not colored. Travesty. But what color should we make Eclipse's bathroom? Should she have standard, like, white colored bathroom? Or should we give her the lovely pinky tones of her dreams? No, her tub is white, though. But she just has a standard porcelain tub. Color it. And I know the metals in her bathroom are gold because the woman has a silver allergy. So, I do know that these fixtures would be gold. Oh, I should color in the washcloth as well. Oh, that is the same color as her bra. I am not coloring her washcloth the same color as her bra. Oops. Yeah, 90s and 2000s infomercials were a time. Infomercials are just a time. I wish we had incompetent infomercials still, but I don't really watch TV, so who knows? Maybe we do. I don't watch TV anymore. I watch documents on YouTube and listen to music. Oh, happiness. Apparently we passed our health check at work. Hopefully that means my manager will be a little less stressed out. I know she's been super stressed about that for the past, like, month. Not as, like, a negative thing, like, it's good to pass. I just hate seeing people stressed out. Yeah. Forgot I downloaded some very interesting 3D models. I don't even know what I was planning to use those for. Man, I love how many brushes and stuff I have, like, in my resources that I don't think I've ever really touched. I use, like, I think the biggest specialty brushes I use is I have these ocean texture brushes I use, and I have these, I use a specialty, sketching tool. But other than that, I just pretty much use default brushes. I'm such a basic bitch. Uh, I'm trying to stay focused. My distraction meter is high. Higher than a kite. I'm gonna change the tone of this slightly. I don't think how it matches some things. Yeah, just a little bit of desaturation. And then I want to change the color of this. Oh yeah, I'm vibing with that. I think we're going with the pink bathroom. It's what they deserve. I don't watch JonTron. I've never actually really watched JonTron, so I don't really know much of those quotes. The only thing I know about JonTron is he used to be in the Game Grumps. He has a burb, and he sang a dope ass cover of the Katy Perry song Firework. That is my JonTron knowledge. Because I don't watch Game Grumps. Oh, but Bringer! Consider a salmon bathroom for the salmon man. Shit. salmon. I don't think it's that bad. Not actually gonna color it this color though. I liked the colors I picked. Get to draw some steam and stuff coming off because the man's getting a hot shower and he is fucking enjoying it. The man is happy. Me, why don't you do your actual shading and stuff before you start adding all your little effects? I forgot this was on here! Do you guys want to see one of the most cursed? Do you want to see a brush that I downloaded and I have yet to find an actual use for this brush? I will someday find a use for this. It's called Meat Stick. And I have yet to find a good use for this brush. I don't remember. I downloaded it so long ago, I don't remember. But it's so cursed and I love it. And I keep forgetting I have it downloaded. Because I only have it on my computer. I don't have it on my iPad. And I do most of my stuff on the iPad. So I don't look at the brushes I have on my PC as often. And then I'll go to do something on my PC and I'll be like, huh. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. This is Eclipse's bathroom and she has taste. This is Eclipse's bathroom, and unlike someone, not naming names, Aurelius, she does have some taste. There we go. Have a nice atmosphere. And now I actually have to shade. Yeah, there's supposed to be an ad. I'll just let it go in like 5 minutes. I have ads set up to do 3-minute chunks every hour. Because that way you're not getting a bunch of mini ads throughout the hour. Normally, that's why I normally, like, during my, starting student screen, I'll run an ad in the morning. Well, not the morning, when I start stream. So, I need to make, like, an ad break screen or something. But, I also haven't. I have other stuff I'm working on, so. Alright. Let's see. Think. You're a line art. Think you're a line art? Are you a line art? Are you a line art? Are you a line art? I don't know what you are. What the fuck are you? Are you an empty layer? Are you an empty layer? Hey. 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 Yeah, you're an empty layer. Fucking love when I do that. You. Don't need that anymore. Alright, then you're just gonna get tossed into one of those for convenience sake. There we go. Oop, there's a whole section of her that is missing. Alright. Now to figure out what color I want to shade with. I don't know if this one's gonna be. Go with the lighter purple. Go with the lighter purple. Oops, don't do that. Which one are you above the layer? There we go. And I've been considering getting a they have these specialty little like controller things to help when you're drawing, and I've been debating if I want to get one for like when I'm using my tablet. Cause unlike when I use my iPad has touchscreen, so I can easily just kind of touch the screen to do things like zoom in and zoom out, or like I can press and hold a little easier when I'm trying to change colors. I can't do that as easily with Bertha. So I used to use a Joy-Con, but then I couldn't get Joy-Toki to work anymore with mine, and so I stopped using it. But it's like I do miss how like convenient that was when you're trying to like do stuff. Like specifically just because of how often I like to zoom in and out of things. And I saw a review for this little one. It's kind of cute, but I'm also like, I don't really feel like spending this much money on something I don't even know if it's going to function how I need it to, and it looks uncomfortable to hold. The Joy-Con was nice, because the Joy-Con just kind of fits in your hand, but there might be a way to get it working again. I just haven't bothered to actually look into it. I gotta figure out if I want to play Among Us with my friends later or not. Depends on how up to it I feel. I want to play with a long update at some point this week before it's gone because it looks so stupid. But at the same time, allergies. I always feel bad when I have to tell people I can't play because I don't feel good. The issue is, I just know myself and I bitch a lot when I don't feel good. There's a dog barking outside. I can hear it over my music. Figured it was time to let Cece have a cover because I draw Empress on covers all the time. Because if I draw Ruin Eclipse sitting on the couch, normally Empress is somewhere on the couch too. Because the couch is that old feline's territory. If I stream again tomorrow, I don't think I'm using a mic. Everyone drink! Oh, Jesus, I forgot. I forgot my numlock was off. You guys just see me fucking hit shit. Drink, 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 drink. Nice. Yeah, that's a good feline. That's a good. Why is that part blurry? Why is the text on that? Weird. I've been trying to not be as lazy as normal with my shading. So, like, normally when I shade, I, typically do all of my shading in one single layer and call it good. But I didn't always do that. I used to actually shade each individual color. Like, the way I used to shade is every single flat layer got its own individual layer of color with its own different shade. I'm not going back to doing that unless it's a very specific case, because I find it's harder to make things look cohesive that way because everything's different. Whereas what I'm doing currently is each figure gets its own shading layers. I'll use the same colors on them, but each different one gets its own shading layer. And that way, it will still be cohesive, but it can be a little more detailed than if I was doing it without. I don't know if that makes any fucking sense at all. I need to go refill my water bottle. I'm going to BRB a second. I want to go get my water bottle filled. so I'll be right back. Where is my BRB? Here it is. I have obtained fluids. I also had to empty the bins from our leaking ceiling. Alright, let's get back to coloring. Might just try to finish this picture tonight. I don't know if I'm going to get to doing the commission on stream or not. We'll find out. We'll see how long it takes me to get this piece fully shaded. Because this is the commission I'm working on currently. It's one for my friend Dream for one of her fics. It's a nightmare sequence. I gotta get it lined. It's a flat colored piece though, so I can just line it and then flat it and it should be good to go. I also have to do a piece for Piero, but that one's got big melons and I'm not working on big melons on stream. I could do the big melons picture on stream because the big melons picture is technically safe for work. There's nothing showing. It's just big melons. Yeah, for the record, that's what the file is actually referred to. That's actually, I think that's literally what I named the file that I'm working on for you. I think it's literally called Piero's Melons. Hold on, let me see. I think it's called Piero's Melons. Yeah, it's just called Piero's Melons. That's what the name of the picture is. That's what your picture is called. It's called Your Melons. But to be fair, they are melons. Hi, I'm like 12. My name's Bun, and I'm like fucking 12. Also, I think it's pretty appropriate that my playlist is a Hat in Time music, and I am working on my Hat in Time fic. I might actually end up so there's a chapter in which Kaya bites Rue in the neck, and I'm debating if I want to keep it in or not. I might get rid of it. But at the same time, him having to get bitten in a very painful way is very funny. I don't know. I gotta go through a bunch of my chapters and stuff and figure out what I want to do with some of them, because I want to work on this fic more this year, get it kind of worked out of the way. I know. Oh shit, today starts NaNoWriMo. I didn't even set up my fucking thing. I don't know if I'll do it this... Maybe I'll just wait till the summer one. I didn't think ahead. Fuck. Because the plan was to do my Among Us fic, but my brain is not on Among Us right now. I don't think I could work on Jelly Belly Murder. Do you ever think about something that just like happened before and you just kind of think about it still? So stylistically, I do this thing with my noses. Like, obviously, you can see it. And it's on all of my pictures. And I always remember the time someone was just, I had done it on something, and they're like, can you not? And I'm like, it's just how I draw noses. I don't even know why I draw them this way. I just like it. The good thing, do you know the one good thing about allergies is at least I know it's allergies and that it's not contagious. Because, like, that's the thing with me always is I'm like, am I getting sick because I work in a place where everyone is in close contact? Is this one of my chronic illnesses flaring up or something? And then allergies, and it's just like, yeah, this is just suffering. Thankfully, I don't have it as bad as my friend does. I feel so bad for one of my best friends in the world. She's like got the worst allergies imaginable, and I feel so bad. Like, I want her to have nothing but relief from her allergies. And like, I was writing a fanfic last night. It's not a public fanfic. It's just one I write for me, cuz I have those. I have several fics that have not seen the light of day. I don't know if I've even talked about this specific fanfic. It's the one I was just writing for the fuck of it. Um, but it's an isekai AU, kinda. Anyway, but I remember it was very funny because one of the plot twists in it is not just Eclipse is isekai'd into this new world, but Rue himself also has memories of his past life, like she does. However, the twist is he is actually originally from the world they were isekai'd into, and then he got isekai'd to her world, and then he got isekai'd back to his own world. Um, and the way he figures out that she had to have come from the modern worlds where he had been isekai'd to the first time, the way he figures out that she had to also have come from there is because she used the word anaphylactic shock. Because I looked this up, anaphylactic shock was only coined as a term in the 1900s. So in my fantasy isekai world, anaphylactic shock does not exist. That is a modern connotation. So when Eclipse uses the word anaphylactic shock to describe why she can't eat chocolate, Rue had to stop and go, "Excusez-moi, that word doesn't exist here. Hello? Hello?" And then he found out that she was also isekai'd, which made his life a tiny bit easier. And yeah, it's just a fun one. Because basically, they're from, well, to her and him when he was isekai'd, it was just a video game world, and then it's actually reality, and there's time loop shenanigans where they're trying to save her from being killed by Vanessa, because Vanessa's a cunt. Because Vanessa wants to own Rue, and Rue is not fucking about it. And so he says fuck off. But I was writing the ending scene too, and it made it really cute. Because basically, they get isekai a second time back to the modern day. Because the way that Eclipse ended up in the fantasy world in the first place is she had tripped when she was trying to stop someone from going off a bridge, and guess who it was that she had seen trying to go off the bridge? None other than our resident Rue. But he wasn't actually trying to go off the bridge, he was trying to figure out something. And they had both fallen in the water. And then story happens while they're over in the other world, and then Vanessa tries to pull shit again, and they end up being thrown into some water and stuff. They end up being thrown into the moonlight in the fantasy world, and they wind up waking up after they had fallen in the river in the modern world, and they end up just getting Eclipse out of her abusive household, and they live happily ever after, being dorks in love with each other. Because they also realize during the course of the fic too that it's not necessarily that she isekai'd, it's she is that original soul, but she had been killed, so it had been transmigrated to the other world, which is where Eclipse was, and then when he went over, it allowed her to come back because it's needed for them to be able to survive properly. And they live happily ever after, being dorks in love with each other, typically. Because I'm me, and I like my dorks to suffer before I give them happiness. Because otherwise that's too easy. I like them to have a little bit of a character arc thing. Addie is cute. Addie's a good bean. Realized I haven't drawn Hattie in one of my favorite Subcon Snatcher shirts in a hot second, so I'm going to fix that by changing slightly the design on what she is wearing. Which isn't much, because it's just coloring. I'm hoping I actually can sleep tonight. I've been able to sleep really well the past couple of nights. It's been unbearably hot in my room, and it is nightmarish. I had to remember this earlier, that I totally forget that technically in TLC, it's not the shrimp, it's Snatcher. I totally forgot that. It's a main plot point too, but I've been drawing the shrimp specifically for so long at this point that I completely blanked that it is actually supposed to be Snatcher in TLC. That is the cryptid form. And I think that's funny. Yeah, that looks better having Hattie actually have a design on her shirt. I think it adds a little extra something something to it. Hi, Aster. Bye again. Thanks for coming by. My computer wheezing. Stop with the layers. Stop. Release me from my death. Meanwhile, me. More layers. My ear just popped in the worst way possible. Shrimp is eat because my allergies are acting up. He can bathe himself. She just offered to help. She loves him. It's bonding. Besides, she's there to keep an eye on Hattie, who's gonna be a little goblin. Besides, this whole bath thing is actually Eclipse's idea in this chapter. Because it's a callback to the chapter she had the. There was that chapter she had the dream where she had Andy and she was married to Rue. And she remembered that dream and was just like, hey, if you want a shower, I have an idea. And so that's what they're doing. But since it was her idea, she wanted to help out. Plus, he's helpless until she kisses him, so it's a little bit of petty payback on her end, too. Because it's also a little bit of revenge for the time that he originally got cursed with the Sundrop incident and had to. Well, didn't have to, but he got her turned into a mermaid as well and broke her bra, so this is a bit of payback for her. Because he can't do anything until she lets him. Plus, it's Rue. He'd end up using all her good product up, so she wants to control how much soap he uses. And Hattie's being a goblin. Hattie's pestering him for a report for school. That's what the child is doing in the bathroom, too. She's being a pain in the ass. She has. It's been brought up in the past that she does school reports for history, and she'll use him as her like basis for her reports because he's old. And what's a better source than your ancient merman dad? No one, that's who. She's getting first-hand accounts. Suck on that, Maureen. She's also just being obnoxious because it's Hattie. She didn't want to leave her mom and Snatcher alone. That's the other reason. Because Eclipse was going to be helping him, and so Hattie was just like, that would mean Mom has to be alone with him, and I don't like that, so I'm going to be in there too, and I'm going to be a pain in the ass. They can't be gross adults if the child is being obtuse. Yes, it's because he's older than dirt. She does use that line again in this chapter. You missed it yesterday, Aster. When I was drawing the sketch for this, I had to fully draw his yitties. Because I could not get his arm posing correctly, so I was like drawing just full on root-tits and everything, and you were not here to witness them. Shaking my head, shaking my head. I actually joked about the fact that you weren't here when I was drawing full root-tits yesterday. So is the lethal update an actual update, or is it a joke? Do you know? No, you're my bestie. You're one of my besties. I talk about you affectionately offline all the time. You're one of my besties. I talk about you at work sometimes. I'm like, yeah, me and my buddy Aston, we play games and stuff together. Pardon me. Yeah. The titties are bald because Rue doesn't have chest hair. Though I have debated giving him a little bit, but I think his scar gets in the way of that. Look at all the layers. And I haven't even shaded the background or Rue yet. Like, look at this shit. And it's not even showing all the layers that I have in the folders. My brain is smooth. I am all out of Dr. Pepper. Which means I actually have to drink from my water bottle now. Granted, I should be drinking water since I'm not feeling great anyway. But I like Dr. Pepper. Oh, it's warm. Ugh. I thought I put cold water in this. shade. So, so a breakdown of the way that I shade pieces, specifically like specifically like bigger illustration pieces. So the typical way that I shade things, I'll explain it while I color Rue, because it'll show off what I mean. So I typically shade, I'll have like a main color, and that's my shade color. Sometimes, depending on the mood of a piece, I'll change which color I'm using to shade. So before I started shading this piece, I actually made a multiply layer above everything, and I used a couple different colors to see which one I liked best for how it was going to look. And then I decided I was going to use this nice lavender color. I typically have, there are about like 3 or 4 different colors I use regularly to shade. The color I use the most often is actually a darker shade of this. So if I make a new layer, typically this is the color I shade a lot of my pieces with, is this color. So like if I switch this to multiply, you can see it like on Eclipse, like that is normally the color I will shade with. But I also have this orange tone I use for slightly warmer, and I do have a more yellow one I will also use. And then I have the pale purple one I am currently shading this piece with. And I do have a range of other colors that will get thrown into rotation, including some just desaturated, like just gray tones. And it's kind of a case by case thing for when I'm shading. Um, but typically I will have like my main shade color and I will use that. And then I'll do all of my cell shading. Um, and because currently I am doing it with multiple figures, each figure has its own shading layers. And they have their own flat layers. So I basically, for every figure that's in the picture, they're going to have their own shading layer. Sometimes when I'm coloring, I will do all of my shading on a single, like, shading layer. However, that's better for when it's, like, not a lot of, like, overlap and stuff because of what I do for my secondary shading thing. So, like, in the case of, like, say how Eclipse has some overlap with Rue, this would create issues with how I do my secondary shading. But I could have shaded Hattie and her mom on the same layer, but I couldn't shade Cece and Hattie on the same layer because there's the overlap. But I'll do all of my initial cell shading, which is just the basic, just like getting the rough shades in of all of my shades. And it does differ depending on the way I'm finessing the picture. Um, and I'll go in and add like different shades to inner layers too, which is why I keep all of my flats on separate layers. Um, so like for an example, something I like to do with hair specifically is obviously I have this weird way I shade my hair, which is this weird like textural thing I do, where it's not quite hair strands, but it also is hair strands. Um, and I'll do that on the main shading layer. But to give it a little bit more volume and stuff, once I've done the cell shading, I'll sometimes go back into the flat layer and create another layer in there that is multiplied, and I will add a darker multiply layer over just the hair's roots and the ends of the hair. Or like if a character has multicolored hair, like case in point, Dumbass here, who I am currently coloring. Normally he has his ginger hair, but then he has the black tips on his hair, so that'll be more layers. Um, I will do that. But when I do my main shading, I'll do my cell shades like this, where it's just very much just the blocky shapes. It's just a very harsh line. But what I do once I'm done doing this layer is I actually duplicate the layer, and that's why you'll see my layer get darker for a split second sometimes, is I'm actually duplicating the cell shade layer and then I will apply a specific level of Gaussian blur to it, and then I will adjust the opacity of both layers combined. And it just softens the shell shade and helps everything blend cohesively together. But that blurring of the colors is why I don't like to have, I have to be careful when I have two characters overlapping. Because if they have certain shades in different areas, if I overlap those shades and I do the Gaussian blur, it'll put shadows on places that it doesn't necessarily need to be shadowed. And that's why they get their own layers. And then on top of the cell shading layers, I then have another shading layer where I will use an airbrush to darken certain segments to just add a bit of tone variation to it, as well as I will then add another layer with some more adjustments as needed. And occasionally I will go in and add a layer that my music stopped. I'm sorry. But the what was I saying? But I'll do another shading layer, and then I'll do a layer that has like color refractions on it depending on the piece. Sometimes I'll be fancy and I'll do like an overlay layer with a bunch of color variations. I do that more on colored sketches and more painterly stuff. I'll do that overlay thing too. I don't necessarily always do it on cell shaded pieces like I do with my covers. They normally stick to just the cell shading and then the adjustment layers of shadow, and then I also have multiple highlight layers which follow the same basic principle as the shading layers, where I'll do like a cell shaded style of screen, and I will do all of my highlights on that one. Then I will duplicate that layer, and then I will blur that layer with the same number I use for when I blur my shadows, and then I adjust the opacity of both levels. For the record, the number I use is 76. I used to use 75, but I got so sick of my iPad. The default Gaussian blur, if you open the menu, it's 6, and I got so tired of having to type both 7 and 5. I just started moving it, so I just had typed the 7 in front of the 6, because the 1% is not going to change too much for what I do. But that's why I have so many fucking layers. And that's just the process for shading my figures. I then will go and shade my background pieces, and then I will do even more adjustment layers on the top of everything to make sure everything cohesively blends together. And that's when you get like a shit ton of overlay layers or lighting layers, and then I'll just minorly fix the colors here and there, and then I'll add different like effects to it. Like this one has a bunch of steam effects that I've already rendered, and I'll just have to turn the layer back on when I'm done. And that's how my layer count goes through the roof. And you wonder why my iPad and my computer lag. And that's not even just like big pieces per se, that's just how I color in general. So any piece I do that for will be like that. Now I watch sometimes I will I just I think my starting screen doesn't have the blurs on it because of how many layers I had to do. But because of Shrimp's coloring anyway, she doesn't need to have it because her colors already blend well with the shade color I was using. So I didn't need to go in and add extra shading to her. So this is a case of me now adding the blur. See, you guys can't see my blur menu because of how I have my OBS set to take my thing, so I don't think it's ever super noticed. Actually my files aren't that big. I don't think I've really ever had a file go above like I think maybe I've had a file that's like maybe a gigabyte. but that was like a poster file. Here, let me see. I can tell you how big a file is. Oh, I moved wrong. That was, let me see. Actually, let me go look at the last 2 covers I did for TLC. Because if we're talking about this shading method, those would, and I know my iPad didn't like Tides of Change's cover. So, the April Fool's chapter was about maybe 40 megabytes. I'm seeing what the other ones were. They have to load. Alright. So, one of them is 103 megabytes, and then one of them was 72.9 megabytes. And my Valentine's picture, that one was pretty chunky. That one's only 88.9 megabytes. And then the picture I'd done for Void's commission was 51.2 megabytes. So they're really not the worst in terms of size. Like, I've had chunkier files in the past. I think whose animation was a decent. Let's see. Yeah, like even an animation I had done was only 86.3. Where's my sad cat? That one would probably be sad cat. No, that one doesn't. Yeah, like most of my files, they're like between like 60 and 90 megabytes for a fully done one, or like something that's like a bunch of layers. So they're not really that enormous. I just have a lot of rendering layers. I think the biggest thing that I find tends to get laggy is when I'm certain brush sizes tend to get really laggy for me. And sometimes it just wants to lag because it's being a bitch. So like this is a case of what I mean when I darken just the ends and stuff. I just think it adds a nice touch to it. Do I want to give you your black tips, or do I want to leave you with copper hair? But yeah, I used to do most of my shading just on a single layer. But that was more just I didn't feel like making multiple layers. But when I used to color in Psy, and I think I did it a bit when I first started using CSP too, I would, every individual layer that I had, like if there was a flat tone, that flat tone used to get its own individual shading layer. So this is still less layers than I used to use, depending on the piece. But I stopped doing that a while ago because I just found it was not making cohesive color choices. And then I think I started doing the single for everything in the picture just because I was just tired. I'm always tired. That is a tangent and I hate it. There's a tangent. Fucking... Where are you? Which layer are you? Where are you, motherfucker? There you are. Tangents drive me nuts. I don't like how that looks. Nope. Nope. Just gonna go ahead and get rid of that line completely. It's not needed anyway, it's just a fold in the curtain. What? What? What are you broughting me? What are you broughting me? I also have a very bad habit of I will notice something wrong in a piece and I will obsessively try to fix it, and my sister's just like, literally only you noticed it. But it's like, if I noticed it, that's not what I wanted. Do not rotate, that wasn't what I wanted. Oh, and then I make an additional layer that is pretty much just a giant black filled layer that goes underneath everything. Because I don't always like taking the time to go and fill all the gaps in my flat coloring. So I just make a bigger layer underneath it, and then I will color that with my line art color. And because I also change my line art color when I'm done coloring, like once I do my shading, I'll change my line art color. What I do for that is I will duplicate the line art change, and then I will put it on that black layer itself, and then I will just, it'll match the lines and it'll just cover in any holes I left in my coloring because I don't want to deal with it. Oops, I gotta add shine to his tail. He's getting a bath. He's soaking wet. He's gonna have shiny scales. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. I used to be a bit more obsessive with my shading layers and stuff like that. I stopped after a while. Shiny fish boy. Shiny fish boy. He's got them purple iridescent scales. Alright. I got those guys all done, so now I just have to do the background. And to make my life easier, all of these layers are going to get shoved into a folder. All of you. Control G. Boop. And then all of my layers are now in a folder. He's a sopping wet man. Soggy man. Alright, now time to color her bathroom. First things first, I'm gonna save. Because if it crashes, I will cry. Yeah, this is one of my Hat in Time playlists. I have like 2 of them. Actually, I have like 5 of them. This one is Deep Sea Rift, Rhythms Jump Studio, Peace and Tranquility, Collapsing Rift, Wound Up Windmill, Nyakuza Metro Bluefin Tunnels, Nyakuza Metro Pink Pod Station, Rush Hour, Mafia Town is Asleep, Train Rush, Trainwreck of Electro Swing Remix, Your Contract Has Expired, Clock Towers Beneath the Sea, and Subcon Time Rift. I'm still happy that we were able to actually steal the apparatus with the nuclear detonation mod the other day. I don't know why that was so proud for, like, I don't know. That was really fun. Okay, I can almost take my allergy meds again. Woo! I can almost take my meds again. The downside of 24-hour ones is, like, you have to wait. Yeah, we didn't get lost and explode! All of us made it out! I think that was pretty dope. I thought that was very cash money of us. Oh shoot, I realized I can't do that because the tub needs to get shaded too. I don't care if it's on him, because he's already been shaded and he's above this. You know what's really satisfying too? So originally I drew the tub freehanded. And then I was like, shit, I don't know if this tub is at the right angle. I don't know if this is correct or not. So I went ahead and I found a 3D model for a bathtub. And so I had imported it in so I could just, like, you know, check if I had done things correctly and so on and so forth. And the satisfaction that my freehand sketch had actually lined up almost perfectly with the model, like when you're talking like the angling and everything, and I was just like, yeah, because it meant I didn't have to redo it, which was pretty dope. A little bit baller, if you will. I thought we were pretty poggers champion. Yeah, no, that was why that night we played was a very good night. Like, normally we die way more often, and the fact that we're actually getting better, that we're able to get through quotas with all of us surviving, or at least only one of us dying, is pretty nice. It's always so funny when I turn certain color layers off when I'm shading things, because it makes it easier for me to see. Oh, sorry, I turned it off because I was on my other computer. Hold on. I can turn it back on. I turned Pet Pet off because on Toast, I don't use the VTuber, and I don't have my Pet Pet asset on Toast. So I turned it off because I was mostly streaming on Toast, and I forgot that I turned it off. Here, I'll turn it back on. Give me a second. Give me a moment. Uh, I gotta give my computer an aneurysm, so. Because are you about do you want to see how I actually changed my line color? I have to duplicate all of my coloring. So you already saw how many layers there are for my colors. I have to duplicate all of that and merge it into a single layer so I can run the action that I use to change my colors of my line art. Because I don't do it manually. Channel points. So, well, me PC be thinking. Come on. I need you to think, buddy. Da-da-da. Alright, you should be able to pet now. Da 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 da. There you are. Allow me to just. The pet needs to be moved. Oh, there was a double pet. Hold on, my pet is in the wrong spot. Hello, big pet. There we go. You made pets. Pet the shrimp. Pet the shrimpies. Look at the shrimp. Oh, we're doing a double pet large. I can't add more pet. I'll just leave the pet up longer. Here. No, you know who deserves pets? Here we go. Because currently, Clip is frozen because it has to think. So I'm waiting for it to unfreeze. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, Clip finally figured itself out. Yeah, the entire time I was messing with my queue to do the pet stuff, Clip was thinking, because it had to duplicate all of my layers, and now it has to merge those layers. So now it has to double think. My water is warm and I'm not happy. Alright. Here we go. Oh yeah, speaking of multiple layers too, I do my line art stuff on different layers depending. So that's another thing, is my line art layers are also often on a different layer completely. And then once I use the action to change the colors of things, I will go in and, whoops. I will go in and I will blend some of the color shifts because of the way it renders them. So sometimes, depending on what colors are near one another, it'll leave a weird little shift. So I like to reblend stuff in myself manually. Because it helps things get a little more cohesive. I messed this up on one of my last covers and I already posted it, so I can't just go and fix it. And Spud looked at it and she's like, literally only you were gonna notice this. But the problem is, I noticed it. That was the problem. It happens a lot with Eclipse's eyes, specifically because of the shade of blue her eyes are. I'll have to go in and shade them, change it. But for the most part, it's pretty accurate to what I... Excuse you. Does make things lag like a bitch sometimes. So like here's an example of somewhere where I might erase part of it just so you can have the darker tone of his eyelashes. Or you can see like on his skin where the color shift is a little wonky. Hey, come on. I'll just go and blend it all out. And then once I'm happy, I'll go ahead and add all of my steamy effects back on. Then come on. Computer, please. Oh my god, computer, please. Discord! Fuck off! I did not open you. Have a good night, mouse. Yeah, I don't think I'll be streaming, like, for the next hour or so. I have to make this man look wet. I have to make him glisten. Because currently he is not moist enough. You are being super laggy, and I don't like that clip. Here we go. I think Control A, selection, shrink. Nah, that's too much. Selection, shrink. Let's go for like 150. Yeah, that'll work. There, Gaussian. Hump you up to a 200. Yeah, he's wet. The wet man. It's a man who's very wet. He's wet. There we go. Alright. I think that's a pretty decent cover, if I do say so myself. I think that turned out pretty damn good. Just a family being stupid. It's so funny though, because the last 3 covers all involve water. All 3 of the last covers involve some form of like moistness. Because one cover had Eclipse getting soaked, another cover was them underwater, and now he's in a tub. I don't think I have that on here. The fic is very wet. It is called the little. The main character is a fucking giant sea monster. Of course, the fic is wet. Croissant. Wet, 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 wet. It's all wet. Oh yeah, that chapter's coming up. The chapter in which Rue gets to punch Keith in the face. I gotta figure out where I want that chapter to. I have to undo the corkboard, and I'm like putting it off so hard because it's been put. I haven't taken the corkboard apart in over a year, and I'm afraid to. Because I have to redo the corkboard, because like all the stuff on the corkboard has pretty much already been dealt with. But I have to deal with the corkboard so I can figure shit out. Like, I gotta put the new chapters, and then I gotta figure out Son of the Sea. I gotta put Son of the Sea up. But it also means taking all the worms off on string off of my corkboard, as well as all the other random bullshit I have on the corkboard. I do need to take the backrooms list off of my corkboard because I already recorded that, so I don't need to have that up there anymore. And I have a bag worm on string. And then there's Skeletor I have to take off of the corkboard too. Oh, thank you for subscribing, people! Enjoy your emotes! Enjoy your emotes! I'm trying to get better about streaming again. I had to like have a talk with myself about like doesn't matter if it's a short stream or not. Like stream is stream. That being said, I do think I am gonna end here for the night. I was gonna work on this too, but honestly, oh right, I forgot I drew this earlier. My head is starting to really hurt, so I can't even remember what I drew. Oh yeah, these were my warm ups before a stream. I was just kind of doodling just to. She is Pubby. Aster's Thickum Boy. Beans. Kai. Alright. I don't think either of you guys were here for the context of the whale. I'm in a server that another friend has. And someone in that server, another friend, had sent a meme involving whales and their ancestors. When I was younger, when I first heard that whales used to walk on land, I didn't picture like an evolutionary thing per se. I pictured this. And I didn't learn till college what it actually was like. So for the long, if you want sexy whale, I have a version I have drawn of this in fishnet tights and high heels with lipstick. There is an actual sexy version of this I have drawn, and I should redraw it for the shits and giggles. But that being said, shitposting aside, come on, don't freeze on me. I am very glad to have gotten this picture done. It's nice to start getting stuff done again and be happy with what I'm doing. Because I hadn't really been drawing too much finished stuff for a while. But that's the joy. That's the joy of it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. I am going to sign off. Does that mean I'm going to stop drawing? No, I'm just gonna go become a lump on my bed instead. I'm gonna go watch YouTube videos and probably work from my iPad instead. Cause I'm thinking I might. My nose is still very congested, and I want to turn all the lights off and just bury my head. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight and dealing with my sickness while I'm dealing with it. I don't know when I'll stream next. Could be tomorrow, could be next week. Who knows? I never know. I just stream. I stream when I stream. I the day I actually do a schedule and stick to my schedule is the day that hell freezes over. I'm like a wild card streamer. Thanks. Hopefully it will soon. It just depends on how the weather is. We have like a stupid nor'easter coming, so that's gonna be fun because everything's gonna freak out again. Alas. But yeah, hope you guys have a wonderful Monday night. I am gonna go become a lump. Lump right! Have a good night, everyone. Peace.